this lesson is going to be week 2, day 1's lesson over worksheet 116 on the front, homework 116 on the back. It's going to cover final stable syllables that begin with CI, SI, and TI. Now, last week we talked about final stable syllables CIOUS and TIOUS. And when we talked about that, we discussed the fact that the CI and the TI have a specific sound that they make in those words. Can you remember what that sound is? If you want to pause the video for just a second and see if you can remember that sound, that's great. That's correct. Shh is the sound that the CI and the TI make in the final stable syllable CIOUS and TIOUS. So we are just going to add to that today the SI, which will also make the sh sound. So we're going to take a look at several different final stable syllables today using the CI, the SI, and the TI. There are a lot more out there, but these are the main ones we're focusing on. And the key here is that you remember that those letters make the sh sound to start out whatever the final stable syllable is. Okay, we're going to start by taking a look at these two words here. I'm going to go ahead and read the words for you. You may already know what they are, but I'll read them. As I read them, I want you to listen to the different sounds that are made and see if you can identify where those sounds are coming from. The first word is crucial, as in it's crucial that you continue your learning so that you can keep up with your studies, even though we're not in school. And efficient. I'm trying to send you these videos to make your learning as efficient as we possibly can. Okay, so there's our two words, crucial, efficient. Now think about what you hear. Think about the different sounds. By now you should have identified the fact that both of these words do contain CI. And so we just discussed the fact that those two together often make the sh sound in words. So these particular words, crucial contains final stable syllable CIAL, and efficient contains final stable syllable CIENT. Now, there is other coding that needs to be done to these words, so we'll just go ahead and look at that and take a look at what those things are. You know now that these at least have two syllables because they contain final stable syllables. So let's start with crucial. Okay, when you say crucial, you can hear that the C makes the k sound. So at that point, you would put your K back on your C. Okay, so long U. So that one is an open accented vowel, which is going to be the long U. Now, there's a couple of ways that we know that's where the accent is. The first thing is how you say the word crucial. Okay, it is crucial that you continue your learning, or it is crucial that you continue your learning. You can hear that the accent is on the first syllable. The other way you know that is because it is a final stable syllable and those accents come before those final stable syllables. Okay, now let's take a look at the next word, efficient. We already have the final stable syllable blocked there in the word efficient. You should also identify while you're looking at this a VCCV pattern. At that point, you know you're going to split between the consonants, okay? And it's going to be shorty, short I, and then you can begin the process to sound it out. F, F, I, efficient, efficient, efficient. Okay? Now, we're going to take a look at a couple of more words here. Again, I will say them for you. And I want you to think about the sounds that you hear and what is making those sounds. Okay, so the first one is Martian, like a Martian from outer space. And the second word is patient, like it is important that we are patient the next several weeks, or like a patient that goes to a doctor. Okay, Martian, patient. Again, you hear a similar medial sound. What is it that's making those sounds? That's right, it's going to be the T and the I. So at this point, we see Martian has a final stable syllable, T-I-A-N, shun, and patient has A, final stable syllable, T-I-E-N-T, shunt. Marchand, patient. Okay, there is further coding to be done on these, so let's go ahead and take a look at those. You should have identified combination AR. Again, the accent is always going to be before the final stable syllable. And we also say Martian. We don't say Martian. So that's how we're listening for where those accents go. Okay. And then on patient, this becomes an open accented vowel there, which is long. You have your accent. A, pay, shunt, patient. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at couple more words. This one's a pretty long one. And okay, again, I'm going to say the words for you. You take a look at them, see if you can hear and see where the sounds are coming from. Okay, the first word is controversial, like this coronavirus, COVID-19, is a controversial topic right now. And Persian, as in maybe you own a Persian cat. So controversial, Persian. Again, do you hear the similar sound? Yes, that would be the sh sound. And you can identify and see that we have final stable syllable, S-I-A-L, shul, and final stable syllable, S-I-A-N, shun. Controversial, Persian. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the coding that we're going to have on these, especially this big word right here. I read it for you, but if it's a word that you were unfamiliar with, you would want to start the process of breaking it down and coding it to help you figure it out. Okay, at that point, you would have identified a V, C, 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 V pattern, which is something that we discussed several weeks ago. And at that point, you're going to be looking through it and trying to figure out, okay, well, where are we actually going to split that? Okay. Recognizing, look here, V, C, V. We'll take a look at that one in just a second. Let's start with the V, C, 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 V pattern. Okay. Again, TR is a blend, and so most of the time we don't want to split a blend. Okay, most of the time that's one thing we can identify to say, okay, we're not going to split that blend. So at that point, you'll do the split here between those two consonants. That gives you a short O there. Okay, now this gets a little tricky over here on this end, because this is where we start to mix up and roll into another VCV pattern, okay? And those would be some of the patterns that we just talked about last week, okay? So at this point, you've got k, ah, So the C says k, so we'll go ahead and put the K back on it. K, ah, con. And now here's where we're trying to figure out how the pronunciation for that would be, okay? K, ah, con. Controversial. Well, when we say the word controversial, it's not an O sound that we make. It's actually, does anyone remember what that sound is? Correct, it's which is a schwa sound. Okay, so at that point we realize we're putting the upside down E over it for the schwa sound. We know the split goes there. We talked about that several weeks ago. And so we can continue on with our coding. There's combination ER. And we've got con, and there went my lights. Ver, shul. Let me get my lights on. Hang on. Okay. Anybody know where the accent's going to go on this? Keep in mind, it does have a final stable syllable. That's correct. The accent's going to go right before that final stable syllable. Okay, and for the last word, Persian, which I've already pronounced for you. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on with this word. For starters, you may have noticed it's a capital P. Okay, it's capital because this is a proper adjective. It would be describing someone or something from Persia, like a Persian cat. That's why it's a capital P. Then you identify combination ER and final stable syllable shun. Okay, again, where does the accent go? That's correct, right in front of the final stable syllable. Then at that point, you can sound it out. Persian, Persian. Okay, so that's going to be your lesson for final stable syllables that begin with CI, TI, or SI. If you have any questions about that, let me know.